very helpful.
It was sort of an interesting, and I remember when both fields sat for me, my time has come, but I have my kids were my kids.
Yeah,
And it
you
was
know,
sort of a, and if I were not to pass, we would disrupt that kind of a.
my daughter had her grandchild at UH Rainbow
Yeah.
near University School.
Yeah.
And it was a long delivery. And mom and dad, there's really nothing we said. We stayed up for 28 hours, right? And I was doing that. And said no.
Oh, okay.
Same.
It's incredible.
Right.
It's not COVID.
Yeah, we're just getting ready for the winter. Getting ready for the winter to settle in. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But
I had a bunch of coffee.
Cleaning up.
Sorry about that.
And they've always got like
Well, this was that ISV that little kids get. And of course, it's fine for everybody but people over 65. Ding, ding, ding.
It's brand new construction, but
12 days. And it just won't
it's
go away.
pulled.
And there's nothing they
It's
can
down
do
from
to
where the partner lives.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, it's really.
The swales between the houses is like always what they do to mow them on. It's always so
Because I want you to know I try.
mulch and put like all around. He put this like Fuja giant green one, which I actually like.
You guys need to
But he
push
wanted
your
to
chairs in.
create a little bit of variety. So
Probably
in the middle,
extra chair.
and he didn't have one.
I think somebody's going to be missing a chair here in the middle.
But
Yeah.
he died. And then he replaced them for shorter chair. And they.
Well, there are exactly as many chairs as seats, and there's two floating chairs, so.
So
I think it's easy to missing a chair.
So I bought the.
Is someone going to sit that
But I
first to me?
dug those things out of the ground.
I feel like I gotta sit
When I dug them out of the ground, it's like a swimming pool.
Is that someone's seat?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can sit down a little bit.
Can't switch water.
Yeah.
So I have that to put.
I'm only growing up, all the other kids were, all the other kids were in class, were around, were going to
Oh, okay.
digging holes with my dad. Plant a lot of trees in my life. It is nice.
Christine was standing there, and I was like, man, there's a lot of space. It's almost like a chair's missing. Oh, wait, the chair is missing.
All that kind of stuff.
I was thinking that too. More space on this side.
Well, I was thinking it was still COVID, so you stay at 6 feet.
Yeah.
I was telling them I've got RSV.
So you have ones that are
12 days into it.
all in like
So I have the
So they,
and and if I get up and fly out here, it's because I know I'm going to start thinking. It's like it won't go away.
impervious.
Yeah.
It won't be
Did your kids ever have that?
extracted.
Yeah.
Free for all.
Yeah.
It's contained, it's in that grid, it's.
Well, that's how
Yeah.
my husband is. So I've been sleeping
Yeah,
in
some sort of.
the spare bedroom and staying away from him.
More.
And of course, no problem for a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
She had, yeah, it was just a cold for her. But for people my age, it's really good.
So I believe,
God.
I suspect they're.
Oh, really?
that legislation.
From school, yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll help them free up
Yeah.
a few others too, because there were other projects.
That other guy too.
Yeah.
Well, so for that one, there was, it worked in that ordinance, and there is, under the, one fifty,
Yeah.
under the non-conforming, there was a section that says no additional structure, so we're able to utilize, they can't extend that driveway, so in this case, they're demolishing the garage. put
And ever
one in
since
its place.
he's
Yeah.
so
Their new
obsessed.
driveway will
And
be added,
so
so
this
because
time,
the structure
he
isn't
hasn't
replaced
gotten it, and I don't know how that's
and
possible.
they're not touching the driveway, they were able to
But we,
replace
you
the
know,
non-conforming
we make this
section.
9 or 10 hour drive to Alabama to see him,
Construction on
and
that one.
every time I come back,
But, that was,
darn kids.
Hey.
This is the wetland. We didn't have those before.
Hey, how you doing? Good. Good. Great. How the world treating you? Good. Can't complain. That's perfect. Yeah. What do
Did they relocate all the deer?
I have been told that
I haven't seen them. Not that I look for them. On the other side of that fence in the wooded area.
Where up in North Carolina? Oh, yeah, yeah. Have they? I think they came to mind, I think they all. They moved them into the southwest side. They were eating acorns off the road. And the deer was looking at me like, why are you disturbing my breakfast? Yeah.
Thank you.
I apologize for my incorrect assumptions.
Oh, well,
We
I
have a
would
drive-
assume the same thing.
We have a film, that's right, that's my backyard.
Oh, you too?
Mm-hmm, Selway,
Oh, yeah.
11 deer. I mean, I can't keep a hosta, I can't keep,
I can keep anything.
yeah.
That's always,
I have a little holiday garden. I've got the ugly steaks and chicken wire, and it is embarrassing.
That's you.
Well, they come right up and house too. That amazes me. Oh, wow.
No.
Other than some.
There's been plenty of foliage to eat, so I don't understand.
we were just talking.
There you go.
Oh, not far from you guys.
Oh, you look, okay.
Yeah, he's married. So-
Yeah.
It's a lot of the center block up on
I know exactly where that is.
So-
Picture of my client.
If you just go.
I was counting on you on the last 3 BOA meeting.
It's off on Broadway.
Huh? I know, but the last one I watched it from home and it sucked because you couldn't hear the witness and the screen was what the.
Council meeting in town hall, confirming it is.
Yeah.
Whenever I attempt to do that, they throw me out of the meeting.
Chuck, for 20 years you've been giving them shit. You know that. I said for 20 years you've been giving them a hard time for Christ's sake.
I point out the shortcomings and
Hey,
mistakes.
I'll tell you what, you come up with some great information. It just sometimes your delivery's off a little bit.
Well,
That's
after
all.
22 years, I'm a little jaded. Not as jaded as your buddy.
Which one's my buddy?
The other one you love to listen to.
Oh, yeah, I walk out on you. I had enough.
You know, I was stunned when you got up to speak against the changing of public speaks.
Yeah?
Your actions, which is a first in about, how many years you've been coming, 6 years?
10 years.
10 years. They should have just thrown their hands up and said, we can't do this. We have stirred the desires and opinions of Brad Davis.
Well, you
we have
remember,
offended him.
Peters used to say to me every time, he used to point at me and say, you got anything to say?
Well, you said it then and you were correct.
Yeah, well, that was my feeling.
They all should have rolled over and said, hey, all right, we're done with this.
Well, they made their decision.
They don't care. So I have to give you an attaboy.
Grazie.
And I don't give those out very freely. You know that.
Oh, do I ever? You do that North Canton sundown, is that part of you?
Yeah, so, Matheny, McCleister, all came in and wanted some sort of better public communication. And then Daryl had already been on me about it before the past election, so that's what we came up with.
That's where it comes from? Oh, I think it's great. You know, I was gonna add today, you know, the synopsis picks it up.
We started with the weekly synopsis. We try to do monthly, some sort of,
Yeah.
deep topic newsletters, and then we're hoping to do a Christmas letter in December, but I don't know that will come together.
Well, there's a lot of information on that webpage, that's for sure. Just find it. That's why it's all digging something. But I'm finally getting the hang of it, you know. I know how those web pages work, you know. You gotta know the web pages.
Yeah, and we did in the redesign the search bars now.
Yeah.
Google help. So you should be able to search keywords instead of.
Well, see, like
Before the redesign, you had to know exactly what you were looking for.
Well, today I put chapter 703. Well, of course, I got everything that says chapter 703.
There's some trade-offs, yeah.
But I found what I wanted. It did get me there eventually.
There's no one I know that lives. I don't think it's over.
Well, but even my youngest had gone out, he's a college professor in Maryland. When all this time didn't catch it, and just went back.
Yeah, so.
First year class, this term. Wasn't really sad, but still, it just keeps going. I lost a brother in December.
Contributing.
Well, he was yes. He was a transplant. Been 25 years, but he had a kidney and pancreas transplant. And it attacked his pancreas. But he also was expensive. He could.
Because I know something that's huge. It's rare.
Yeah, they just had. Just before he frequented a restaurant every evening. Just sat with him, talking with him. One night, she texted him, well, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. I mean, it was so fast too. And he didn't tell us. He was a bachelor, so he didn't tell us. So I don't know. I know exactly what I did. He thought I could have this out. I've already been, he's already been to have transplant and everything. I know that's what he thought. I wish he would call us. I don't
They reached out.
We went to Tom and I was 2 years. We didn't get.
Buy that bag, man. That's a nice bag.
My wife got it for me for Christmas,
There you
so I would
go.
have to ask her. I very first. And it's,
I got one that's close, but I about worn it out. That's why I was looking at yours. Hi,
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
I was gonna say, I feel like I just saw you, right? So,
I never left.
how you doing? Hi there. Doing good.
Yeah, he's supposed to. He's still got 5 minutes. Yeah.
some 24 hours.
You see me, man, kick me, will you?
Cause I'm gonna.
Oh, you're not, real nice.
Frank, national sales meeting presentation, then I guess you'd call it. And we met, and first they wanted me to take
It's just different for.
I haven't been to one. I'm not ready for one to travel with it. So somehow came into it. I haven't taken part of their device. It's a respiratory device for asthma or COPD.
It does.
And you know what an egg shaker is, like a percussionist would use? But then it's like, and then so I sold this guy from Michigan, one of my coworkers. I didn't think it was just, I don't have like 5 or 6 of these. But I'm using beanies, like beanies. And I'm gonna be going through TSA with these like 5 or 6 things that got BBs in it. I mean,
Check them. Check luggage.
you know, my goal is to never check luggage, because I've actually had luggage lost.
Well,
on a direct
you
flight.
might have to check some luggage like
I might
that.
just FedEx it down to myself, I don't know. I said, maybe you could put coins in there, but I'm like, well, couldn't coins be like suspicious, you know, like improvised, I'm like,
But you could like have coins elsewhere. It's just the thing.
yeah,
Slightly less.
well, that's true.
I did figure out
Oh, why I have my thing on
the
this?
settings that I
Oh, yeah?
had crosswire, but I just
Okay.
figured I'd leave you guys with access to
Yeah.
the CBOA and planning commission.
Makes sense, so.
Yeah.
Did you get Matheny's phone squared away, Ben?
I have no idea.
He told me that you were gonna help him.
I
You know-
do not know how to work Android. As Jamie will tell you, I do not know
I'm
how
an
to work
Apple guy.
Android
I
phones.
still don't know how to use that phone. I mean, it's like, it makes all kinds of noises all the time, and I don't know what it is, like I can't,
When I called up Matheny, it says, you know, that he didn't have his voicemail set up. That's all
Yeah.
it said.
I have my voicemail set up, I do know that.
I have no idea how
Well,
to set up his voicemail.
I'm pretty sure I have my voicemail set up.
Now you may ask, why would I give them Android phones if I don't know how to use an Android phone?
That would be
And the
a
answer to
question.
that question
Because
is
he's a
because that's
judicious
what they
user.
gave us for
Yeah,
free from our carrier.
Judicious user of
Uh-huh.
resources, but, yeah, I mean, this is my, I've got a personal phone, I got a work phone, they're both Apples, I mean, I've had Apples, I don't know how long, and he's gonna throw me this curveball with the Samsung phones.
Christina was the only lucky one. We had an extra Apple phone laying around, so she got the
She
Apple.
captured that.
Yeah.
She called dibs, yeah.
We should send out like a mass email to everybody, maybe there's somebody in the, who might be in an opposite situation in our little organization.
swap?
Yeah, I will swap.
My wife has Samsung. She's a terrible one.
Well, so I'll go a step further. So a couple of years ago, you ever seen those Samsung smart refrigerators?
Oh,
We
yeah.
thought, oh, this is a fantastic idea. Piece of junk. We also, before that, bought Samsung washer and dryer. I will never.
That's the
buy a
one that come
Samsung.
apart, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the dryer, we had to have something done on it. The washing machine now just has a mind of its own. It was just like this evening, I threw stuff in before I came, and it just like stopped. So you had to turn it off, turn it back on. That's if you catch it. You might wait like the full hour, like, oh, hey, it'll be done. Oh, no, it's still thinking. And then one time, it was like last week, or no, actually last month, it like completely locked up, and I couldn't do anything. I would unplug it, and so the lid locks because it's been so fast.
We're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6 p.m.
I'm like, kidding, like, everything to
So
work.
we'll start with a roll call, please.
Mr. Zollinger,
Here.
Ms. Boyajian. Here. Ms. Clevenger.
Here.
Mr. Lamiell.
Here.
Mr. Streb.
Okay, all the board members are present. That means we also have a quorum, of course. for any action we take, we need at least 3 out of the 5 board members to vote in favor of any motion that is made at the meeting. With that, the next item of business is the minutes from the August 23rd, 2022 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and call the roll to approve the minutes.
Mr. Streb?
Yes.
Mr. Lamiell?
Yes.
Ms. Clevenger?
Yes.
Mr. Zollinger? Ms.
Yes.
Boyajian? Yes.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Now we'll move to the next item of the agenda, which is the appeal portion. I'll go ahead, let's start by just having that read off into the record.
Application number 22 NCZBOA-0005, Christopher Swing Esquire, 1474 North Main Street, North Canton, Ohio, 44720. An appeal from August 3rd, 2022, Planning Commission preliminary and final approval of General Development Plan 22 NCPC-0008.
Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
We have received a second appeal for the conditional use permit on the same project. It appears to be duplicative in nature in regards to the evidence and witnesses. We would like to make sure that we review the record in full and we allow any of those who wish to be heard an opportunity to be heard. With that in mind, staff recommends to schedule this appeal for a future date for a special meeting so both items can be heard.
Okay. With that, I guess I would entertain a motion to continue this hearing with the idea of it being, this issue being presented at the same time as the hearing on the conditional use issue.
Correct.
All right, so I would entertain a motion in that regard.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, what I'd like to do then, I know that the parties for this matter are represented by counsel, so I would like to hear from, briefly, the position of counsel on the issue of a continuance. We have the court reporter taking down everything just like what was done at Planning Commission, so I would like to just have a brief position of the appellant on this issue. And go ahead and state your name and for the record too, please.
May it please the board, ladies and gentlemen, Attorney Chris Swing. I'm here on behalf of Albrecht Incorporated and Acme Fresh Market. That's 1474 North Main Street, North Canton, Ohio. Certainly, the board will do what the board will do in terms of continuing this, but I appreciate the opportunity to state our objection on the record to it. We think that there are different legal standards that apply to each of those issues. That is the approval of development plan, both preliminary and final development of the development plan, and also the approval of the conditional use permit for the accessory gas station. We think there are different legal standards, different issues, different provisions of the zoning code that apply, different facts that support those, and frankly, it's council's opinion that there are different records that relate to each. To the extent that we're attempting to supplement or to add to the record of August 3rd when that decision was made with respect to the development plan, I'd respectfully submit that everything after that wasn't considered by the Planning Commission that evening. So I'll be brief. I appreciate the chance to speak to you. I appreciate your service to the community, and we just want to state our objection for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Counsel for the appellant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This is really not an, Majid Makhlouf, I represent the city of North Canton in this appeal, and I know Meyer was planning to be here, and then when the idea of the continuance happened, they went back to Michigan. But I know they have the same position as we consent. I don't know that this is, it makes sense. It seems to make a ton of sense. The board makes whatever decision the board makes. Fully agree that there are different cases, but that doesn't mean that they can't be heard on the same day. But we would also maintain that, even when they're heard on the same day, they have to be separate votes, separate conclusions of fact, separate. But that doesn't mean that for the convenience of the witnesses, that they can't, you put the witness on the stand once, you go through that witness. The board is sophisticated enough to understand the different items on which they're voting, and they can make that distinction, and the criteria will be before the board for each matter, and they will vote on it. But it would have, when the idea came to us, we consented to it, because quite frankly, it would have made no, we would have had the witnesses here today, have them go through the testimony, and then we have to schlepp them again, and when the next meeting happens, and then repeat. Even if the criteria are different, they're related. Yes, the planning commission voted on them separately. They're separate appeals before you, but it doesn't mean that you can't have efficiency in how things proceed and lower the burden on witnesses and things of that nature. So from our perspective, we consent. The only request that we would have of the board is obviously time is of the essence on these things, to the extent, so instead of just pushing it to the next regularly scheduled meeting, and we will need a lot of time for this, so it would make sense to if there's the possibility to have a special meeting to go through those, we would very much appreciate and cooperate with the board with whatever you wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, my thinking is, let's have the hearing where we address all the issues at once. We also make sure we give ourselves enough time that both parties have a chance to make as complete a record as they need to. That we make sure that whatever action we take, that we address each issue separately enough so that whatever different standards apply, we make sure that the board considers all of them separately, and that we just do it the right way. And when we reschedule, with appropriate notice that we need to make legally, I would be okay with a special meeting. I would also be okay with an earlier time, just to make sure everybody has time to do everything they need to do at the hearing, if we can make that work with everyone's schedule. So we'll deal with that when the time comes, but with all that in mind, I'd be in favor of granting this motion. And I would go ahead and, I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts they want to express before we vote. Does anybody have anything? Okay, so with that, we'll call the roll on the continuance motion.
Ms. Boyajian?
Yes.
Mr. Streb?
Yes.
Mr. Lamiell?
Yes.
Ms. Clevenger?
Yes.
Mr. Zollinger?
Yes. Okay, so this issue is going to be continued, and hopefully we can get this meeting scheduled as soon as possible, and at a time convenient for everybody. With that, is there any other business to come before the board this evening? If there isn't, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, and we'll just go over the voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.